Alright guys, so we are headed back over to Streetcar Joe's house again. It's actually Saturday now. Got some bad news on the engine yesterday. I actually thought I had good news the other day in the last video you saw, but I actually got some bad news yesterday about the engine, so we'll talk about that probably in the next video, but it's just another small setback that we'll try and get around, I guess. But anyways, Joe started making the coping pieces, the little sleeves for the tubed front end yesterday. So I went to Amarillo Bolt, picked up some grade 8 hardware, and so we got that. Got some bolts for the rear calipers. I seem to have lost those. So we're gonna install the strange calipers on the back end today, and then after that I'm gonna start running the brake lines all the way up to the proportioning valve and try and tidy all that up. I got some fittings in from Summit Racing that I was missing to complete the brake system. So really the plan is this weekend is to get the brake system done, and hopefully Joe's gonna have the whole front end tacked up, and then my car is gonna go into storage for probably like a week or so, because if you guys don't know, Joe's car has been in storage while mine and Aaron's car has been in his garage. But Joe's trying to get ready for the flashlight shootout, so he's trying to make some small changes. So essentially we got to get mine done this weekend, where we can get it back to a roller so we can take it to storage, put Joe's car in the garage. He's gonna work on his car for about a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then we'll bring my car back in and continue working on that. And then Joe, pretty much his car just kind of chill until flashlight shootout, because we're about, once this video goes up, we're probably about like a little less than 4 weeks, or right at 4 weeks away. So he's got to make some small changes because the Dallas race is always really competitive. And unfortunately he didn't get to race it last year because his car wasn't quite ready, but his car is going to be ready this year for some Outlaw Street and some small tire action, so it'll be really good to watch that. But anyways, headed over to Streetcar Joe's house, see if we can get some brake lines done and see if we can get this front end tacked up today. guys, so you saw me finishing up the brake lines. Pretty much the whole entire brake system is done on the car. It was pretty easy, honestly. Just bending and making fittings for the brake lines takes a little bit of time, but when you have the right tool, it makes it pretty easy. So got that all done. If you guys need a kit like that, I actually bought the kit from Motion Raceworks. They make a complete brake line kit, and then I got the actual manual brake conversion from Aerospace Components. But I'm glad that's all done and installed. As you guys saw towards the end of the video, we finally started working on actually tacking up the front end. So in the next video, you'll actually see us finishing that up and moving my car out of Streetcar Joe's garage. So, update on the motor. Before I get to the motor, actually, switched back to Ignite Racing Fuel for this year. Eventually, the car will go on methanol, but for this year, I'm going to stick to gas, stick to running E85. And so we got 4 barrels of Ignite Racing Fuel. Huge thanks to my buddy Jay over at Ignite for hooking it up. And I'll be running back on Ignite Fuel this year, and then obviously I want to switch the car over to methanol eventually because I do want to lose the weight from the intercooler. But for now, we're going to run some Ignite Racing Fuel. So, as you guys can see, literally all of the parts, that's not my nitrous bottle over there, but all the parts are still here because we are still waiting on the motor. So, just an update on the motor. Just want to stay transparent with everybody. I did get the heads done by Frankenstein. They had a slight delay, but they did get the heads done in a decent time, you know, considering the circumstances. Some people got COVID at the shop and they had to shut down the shop. That's honestly like happening everywhere right now. But anyways, so I got the heads, sent them over to my builder. My builder had to assemble the heads, realized it needed valve seals for the heads, so he had to order some valve seals because he didn't have any in stock. And then he's assembling the heads right now, and then the heads will go on the block. I believe the block is ready to go. He just has to assemble the heads, but you guys know with Coyote heads, it's a lot of valve springs, a lot of retainers. They've got to put the cams in, do the timing on it. So I'm hoping that this week the motor actually ships, the engine actually ships. I know a lot of people comment motor, engine. It's not a big deal, guys. Calm down. Calm down, calm down. It's just 2 words. Anyways, the engine hopefully will ship this week, and then we'll get the car back into Streetcar Joe's garage. So essentially, Joe's taking this time to kind of work on his car. Once the engine is actually en route, then we'll get my car back in the garage, finish up the front end because it's really, really close. He actually has all the bars cut, just has to completely weld everything together. But we wanted to wait till we had the engine just to make sure everything still fits. So once the engine actually ships, we'll get the car back in, drop the engine in, drop the new Hughes Performance Power Glide in there, and start building the turbo kit. So, as of today I think is like Tuesday, the 2nd is when the video is going to go up, and we are like 43 days away from when I'm supposed to leave for TX2K. I'm still going to try. I do have my doubts about us making it, only because the engine was actually supposed to be here last week. If the engine was here last week, we'd be really close to making it, but that 1 week, pushing us back like another week, possibly 2 weeks, depending on when it actually ships, is going to kill us. It's going to be really tough. So, because the reason why is we can drop the engine, the transmission in literally in an hour or 2. That stuff's easy. We've got to build a whole new turbo kit. We've got to remount and make new mounts for a radiator that we don't even have. We don't even know what size of radiator we're going to do yet because we have to fit now this new larger air-to-air system in there, the bigger turbo, which is at Joe's house. And so we've got to reconfigure how everything's going to sit. I thought about doing a radiator in the back of the car, but since the car is heavy compared to like a Fox body or an F body, I don't want to have to run water lines all the way to the back. That was the reason why I got rid of the air-to-water system, was to save more weight. So if I put the air-to-air up front, put a radiator in the back, and then run water lines all the way to the back, that's literally adding back the stuff that I just took out of the car. So I don't want to do that. However, that's still a possibility, but I really don't want to do that. I'd rather have the radiator up front, try and keep as much water up front, not have to run lines all the way to the back, mount the air-to-air up there, and then mount the turbo somewhere up in the front of the bumper as well. So we may have to do something kind of where we offset it, but we literally can't do any of this until the engine gets in. So I'm hoping the engine ships soon and we can get to fabbing the car, or fabbing the turbo kit up for the car. Joe is really fast at fab work. I mean, it takes a lot of planning, but once he's actually cutting and welding, he moves really quick. So I know once we get everything here, he can build the turbo kit pretty fast. I think there's a few issues we're gonna run into. I don't have a drive shaft yet because we switched to the TRZ 9-inch in the back. So we need to measure the correct length, and we can't do that until everything's in the car. So what we want to do, just giving you guys a heads up, we want to get the engine transmission in the car as quickly as we can, and then measure, get the drive shaft ordered, start working on the turbo kit, and because we just don't know how long the drive shaft is going to take. We may source one locally because we can get it really quickly, but if it looks like we're not going to make TX2K, then I'll probably just order a super nice one from Drive Shaft Shop or someone like that. But we'll probably get one locally if we look like we're gonna make the time frame. Right now, I can't say if we're gonna make TX2K or not. We're still pushing for it, but we literally can't do anything to the car right now until we get the engine. So we're just waiting on that. Come on, Will! Will at RPG Engines is really awesome. I know he's super busy right now, and you know, it's off season for everybody, so he's got a ton of engines to build. And he was just waiting on those valve seals to come in. So hopefully they come in. Hopefully the heads get assembled. Hopefully the engine's back together. And hopefully it ships this week and we'll have a chance of making TX2K. It's like 43 days away. It's just not that much time when you break down everything we have to do. There's a lot of work to be done. But we're going to push. We're going to see if we can get it done. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys on the next one.